Alright guys, so I'm going to show you a video of what I am wanting you to do for your map, for your history assignment, okay? So in your map skills book, you should have worked on page 7, 8, 9, and I believe 10, 9, and 10. Okay. So what I am asking is for you to recreate this grid. Okay. So you're going to need a ruler. You're going to need a pencil. You're going to need your map skills book. And also a blank piece of paper. Okay. So go get those. So now the next thing that you're going to do is we're going to measure the block, okay? So I have my inches here. They need to be at the top. So I am going to measure the top, and I see that the whole top is 5 inches, okay? So that means that each of these blocks is 1 inch thick, okay? Then I am going to measure here, okay? So I see it is 5 inches as well, but there are only 4 letters, okay? So the difference is that there are 5 here, 5 squares by 4 columns, or sorry, 4 rows, okay, by 5 columns, right? So when you think of columns, we think of like pillars in like the Greek, Roman, all of the I can't think of all of the structures in Rome or in Greece that have pillars, okay? The things that hold structures up, okay? Those are up and down. And the rows, that's what we sit in the movie theater, okay? So you have 2 options. You can either copy, okay? So put on top of the paper and trace it, okay? So you can do that, or you can measure, okay? But I would also make sure that you're using a straight edge, okay? So you know you're gonna go to 5 inches and stop. And then you're gonna do the same thing, okay? I would start with your 1 at the top, because you know where your starting point is, and then go, make sure it's nice and straight, okay? And then go down to 5 inches, okay? And then do that for the other 2. Okay. So now that you have your square, we need to make those smaller squares to make it a grid, okay? So I am going to continue to use my ruler, okay? And I'm gonna mark off each inch increment, okay? So I've got 1 inch, 2 inch, can you guys see what I'm doing? My 3rd inch and my 4th inch, and then there's my 5th inch, okay? And then I'm gonna do the same thing down at the bottom, okay? Because I'm gonna make those horizontal or those vertical lines, okay? And they're gonna connect. Hold on a sec. Oopsie, hold on. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the same thing at the bottom, okay? I'm gonna do my 1st inch, my 2nd inch, my 3rd inch, my 4th inch, and then that should give me my 5th inch, okay? So I'm just marking each of those inches. So the inches are the larger, and then these are the centimeters at the bottom, which we're not using, okay? So at the top, okay? Now what I want you to do is we're gonna need to measure so I believe it's gonna be about, not quite 1.5 inches. So what I would do is I would use the grid itself to help you mark that line, okay? So let's see, there's gonna be your first line, okay? Do you see how I'm using that? I'm lining up my ruler with the line on the map. Do you see that on the actual grid? Just to keep it, and then I'm making sure that my line at the top here lines up with that up there, okay? So, because we want this to be really, really precise and exact. So take your time. And if you notice, I'm not pressing hard on my pencil. And you guys know why I'm doing that. That way, if I have any mistakes, I can easily erase them, okay? So then I'm gonna go ahead and do that to the other side. And I'm starting to create my grid, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the other side. Same idea, line up. So first I wanna measure how thick these are so I can get an actual, it is like a little more than a, it's like a little more than a one, let me see, 1 1/3, or 1 1/4. So what I would do, because I can't really see, I'm just gonna use the grid to help guide me, okay? And also, if you don't have a ruler, just find any straight edge. It could be a cutting board, it could be another book, and then I'm gonna line up this line right here. If you can see, this line that I made with this line over here. Just wanna make sure that it is, and making sure that that line up there is also lining up with underneath. It's gonna take some time, okay? So just go slow. Okay, you're just looking for equal squares to make that equal grid, okay? Or that, sorry, that grid. And to make a grid, you need to have squares. And to have squares, you need to have equal sides, right? So I'm just using the tools that I have to create this grid. Okay, continuing to line up this line with that line, and then I can just go ahead and make that line extended. Okay, so I'm starting to make my horizontal lines, and then I can go ahead and start making my vertical lines. So I'm connecting the top and the bottom. Okay. Once again, nice and gentle with the pencil because I want to be able to erase if I make errors. Okay. So I'm just making this nice grid. And the goal of this assignment is for you to make a map of your house. All right, so this is what you should end up with essentially, okay? So now what I'd like for you to do, hold on. All right, so go ahead and start labeling your squares. So the top is gonna be numbers, the bottom will be numbers, and then the sides will be letters, okay? So just follow the example on your page. So A, B, C, and D. Feel free to erase those extended lines if you'd like, if you wanna make it look nice and neat. Same over here, A, B, C, and D. Okay, and then numbers down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Okay, the next thing that I would like for you to do is I want you to have at least 6 things in your house. So this is going to be a map of your inside of your house. Okay? So you're going to make a key. Okay? So use your ruler to make a nice rectangle. Okay? And then inside your rectangle are going to be, you got to think of 6 things that you want to be in your house. So that could be like your bedroom, that could be a sink, that could be your living room, your TV area, could be your work area, the office, the garage, whatever is most important to you and what you want to share. So like when they did the city, they did the street names, they did the houses, and then over here they did the zoo. So all of the important areas, right? So some ideas could be like where the bathroom is. So you could do like a picture of a toilet and just doodle. We're just having fun. Okay, we're just learning how to use our map skills, and then over here you're gonna give directions. Okay, so just like on page 8, it's given instructions on where things are. You're going to go ahead and do the same. Okay, and I would like to see 5 instructions. Okay, so we've got 6 items here in your house, and then I'm going to go ahead and continue to use my ruler because it just makes things nice and neat. 6 directions. Okay, and you can write that as well, and then you could use your ruler to create lines. Okay. For your sentences, for your directions, okay? I'm going to do one more. Okay, so you should end up having with something, oh, we said 5 directions, right? We'll just do 5 directions. Okay, so you can start with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. You can make 5 like a really simple direction, or if you end up having more space, you can move those around. Okay, so that's kind of what I am looking for. So just get started on that, and then we'll move on to the next phase. Okay?